Hello everyone. Today's video we're going to talk about Astra, explaining who she benefits and what she can do in depth. Before we start the video, I hope to earn your subscription by the end of the video, as I really put a lot of work and effort into making the videos. In my previous video, I have mentioned that Astra is a must-pull agent due to her being very versatile, especially when paired with both attack and anomaly agents. However, I do know that a lot of people are either saving up for Evelyn or pulled Miyabi. So if you're looking to top up, lootbar.gg has got you covered with a 15% discount on all ZZZ top-up through my link that will be available for you down below in the description of the video or in the pinned comments. I personally use their services multiple times and it's never disappointed me so far. It is fast, safe, and you don't even need to log into your account. Whether you're treating yourself or looking forward to make your friends happy in this festive season, Lootbar offers the best prices around. And it's not just because of the promotion, take it from the multiple positive reviews that are left from people all over the world, alongside with big YouTubers such as Ride and Shotgun, Teva Times, and even Tukaja. Head over to the link in the description or pinned comments to enjoy a 15% discount to all top-ups. Previously on my video, I have mentioned that Astra can work really well with any agent, and honestly speaking, that still stands true to majority of what I talked about. Her additional passive works with both anomaly and attack agents, making her very versatile and even strong compared to other agents. However, how could we evaluate her? Well, I brought it upon myself the lovely idea to compare using Astra with all the other agents we've gotten so far that are both attack and anomaly. So let's put her to test. With Evelyn, Lighter, and Astra, I had to change the calculations because I've done a small mistake. A minor one, to be honest. I've used her additional ability buff to work on her EX and not chain attack, but thanks to the many people that corrected me in the comment section, I had to redo the whole thing to make sure that Evelyn was getting the right buffs, and I provide everyone in this video an accurate description to her. As mentioned on my previous video with the rotation, with Astra, Evelyn, and Lighter, the damage reached 7 million DPR. The main reason that you see Evelyn's damage increasing is because of two things. One, I forgot to give Evelyn the bonus lighter buff from her W-Engine, and second, we removed her damage bonus with the EX and added it to the chain, which is my fault, so forgive me. Moving on, it's the same exact team with the same exact build and rotation. 4-piece Woodpecker with 2-piece Branch and Blade to increase her crit damage and make sure you don't overcap with crit rate. Moving on my previous video, I mentioned the vault being functional. However, due to the skill description, the W-Engine is not going to work at all. But don't worry, I'll give the best W-Engines for her at the end of the video. Moving on, with Evelyn, Astra, and Koleda, the damage changed as well. Koleda buffed Astra's chain, which I didn't include in my previous video. And with Koleda providing level 2 buff, the damage the team reached is 5.8 million, which is in all honesty not bad at all. I think this squad is going to be one of the most late squads in the game, since majority of the people skipped Lighter for Miyabi, so this is really a comfort squad in my opinion if you have Koleda. Honestly speaking, performance wise, it's looking great. With Yuan, Astra, and Qingyi, the rotation remains fairly the same. You'll find yourself frequently rotating in and out of the field, focusing on quick assists to help Astra build up her buffs. At the same time, you'll want to make sure that Astra is stacking her drive disc to maximize the 24% damage bonus granted by Astral Voice. And based on my testing so far, the damage for the squad is impressive, reaching 7.6 million DPR. Considering the rotation as shown on the screen, the performance is quite remarkable in my opinion. But how does this compare to using Nicole instead of Astra? When we substituted Astra with Nicole, the damage difference doesn't seem drastic. In fact, with Astra, the damage is 7.64 million DPR, while with Nicole, it's 7.4 million. Still, very close. This raises an interesting question though. Is Astra really that essential for G1 team? Honestly, if another team can benefit more from Astra, then it might be a better option to place her elsewhere rather than in G1 team. The reality is that G1, even without Astra, is incredibly strong when the perfect rotation is executed. The synergy with Qingyi is solid and the damage output remains competitive. So at the end of the day, it really comes down to whether you think the small damage difference, around 300k, is worth the trade-off of not having Astra in the team where she could potentially shine more. And until we can fully test Astra's impact on the squad, it's difficult difficult to give a proper answer. But looking at the current damage comparison, I personally feel that the team is functioning perfectly as it is. Yuan with Qingyi and Nicole is still a great squad, and small damage difference isn't enough to outweigh the potential benefits of placing Astra in there, especially when considering that her main contribution to Yuan's team is likely tied to triggering corruption, which helps activating chaotic metal. This additional utility could make a huge difference in terms of overall team performance and synergy. Ultimately, if you're aiming for maximum damage and efficiency in Yuan's team, the rotation as it stands seems more than viable. But since we finished with Yuan and her squad, with Ellen, Astra and Lycaon, the team was functioning quite well overall. Ellen managed to reach a solid 6.2 million DPR, which is a good amount of damage considering the buffs in play. This includes the 24% damage bonus from Astra's Astral Voice, and an additional 30% from her own buff, and an additional 35% damage boost from Astra's W-Engine, which greatly enhanced Ellen's performance. However, despite this impressive output, it becomes clear that Ellen seems to thrive much more when paired with Lighter. This synergy between Ellen and Lighter feels stronger, and her performance appears to be going to a whole new level when using. I think it's safe to say that for now, Ellen doesn't really require Astra to reach her full potential. Ellen is a highly capable agent on her own, and her performance doesn't seem to suffer the same limitations that Yuan faces when she's outside of her optimal rotation. While Yuan relies heavily on a perfect rotation and the enemy being stunned to truly shine, Ellen can perform exceptionally well when she's not in a specific stun window, making her more flexible and less reliant on certain conditions. So, when comparing her to other agents, it becomes evident that, at least for the time being, Astra's presence doesn't seem to offer a significant boost to Ellen's damage or overall performance. In fact, considering the alternatives, it might be better to simply pair Ellen with Lighter instead. With Lighter, Ellen's damage potential is maximized, and her overall team performance improves significantly. This would allow you to get the most out of Ellen's abilities without worrying about the additional buffs Astra provides, which may not be as crucial for her. If you're looking for the best results in terms of performance, it's clear that Ellen, when used alongside with Lighter and Lycaon, outshines the synergy with Astra. So for now, if you're aiming for the highest possible damage and efficiency with Ellen, focusing on pairing her with Lighter and Lycaon seems like the most effective choice at the moment, as it provides a more consistent and powerful output compared to relying on Astra's buffs. And for my final calculations, I've tested Miyabi, Yanagi and Astra, and after experimenting with the rotations, I've realized just how devastatingly strong Miyabi can be, even without the enemy being stunned. To give you an idea of her potential, I reworked the rotation to ensure that both Miyabi and Yanagi could work together effectively, complementing each other with their disorders effect while simultaneously maximizing the buffs. This approach leads to an impressive 8.1 million DPR when using Miyabi, Yanagi and Astra, all while the enemy remains fully active and isn't stunned during the rotation. One key factor in achieving this level of damage is the consistent use of quick swapping, which helps maintain the maximum buff time. Throughout the quick swap process, I made sure that Miyabi and Yanagi were consistently triggering disorders on the enemy. By the time the third or fourth disorder activates, not polarity disorder, it's clear that the enemy would already be on the verge of death, if not dead already. Of course, this outcome assumes that the enemy is not in a stun state. If the enemy were to be stunned, likely be even easier, as the buffs from the squad and the continuous anomaly applications would assist Miyabi in keeping her frostball stacks at 6 for the majority of the fight. The overall performance of this squad is undeniably strong, with the synergy between Miyabi, Yanagi and Astra providing a tremendous boost damage output. It's important to note that the rotation has changed a bit. Instead of Miyabi staying on field for the majority of the time, you'll now be required to rely more heavily on quick swapping. This change significantly alters the dynamic of the rotation, but it still results in a very high damage, which I think is quite impressive, especially considering that this was achieved without the enemy being stunned. Ultimately, the adjustments to the rotation have proven to be incredibly effective, and the squad is performing better than expected. For her W-Engines, you could go for her signature, Weeping Cradle, Kaboom, or Game Ball. Just make sure she has 2-piece swing jazz and she's going to be doing well. Also make sure you need to have 3600 attack on her, since the only reason you get buffs from her is through her attack. So in reality, 3600 attack is what you're aiming for. I'll be leaving a screenshot in the comment section made by Kerbex. He's done an amazing job, so you could see the screenshot and figure out what exactly you need to build for her. And with with this, we have reached the end. Hopefully I've earned your subscription today. If I didn't, let me know in the comment section below if I missed anything. Let me know if you'll pull for Astra next, and also tell me which teams should I do next for Evelyn's video. See you in the next one.